Hello, child.
It was Nuala Ignis who stirred the magics of Aod. At least now we may restore the balance of the ruin before the rest of Dalentarth is engulfed in flames. What is this? You caught her crafting this, you say? Remarkable. Just utterly remarkable. That might explain her behavior. Breaching the seals of Aod should have been far beyond her capacity. Not to mention whatever this is, I have never seen the like. It is as if the element of fire were given physical form. You have done well. I have another assignment for you when you are ready. In the meantime, I shall be studying this sunstone. Adept Fell recently began investigating some disappearances in Melaglia. I haven't heard from her in some time. I want you to go to Melaglia in the plains of Erethel. A member of our order will meet you on your way there to give more information. Do not keep your contact waiting. And when you've sorted the business with Lerkara out, meet me at the Rathir Chapter House. Archsage Jubal Calidus is the highest-ranking member of our order. He is the most powerful sorcerer alive, and as such, commands the allegiance of all within the Scholia Arcana. If he ever asks anything of you, neophyte, be sure to deliver. Melaglia is a trade hub between the great cities of Odessa to the south and Rathir to the north. Lately, however, the town has been experiencing a number of disappearances. For generations, the lords of Kandrian Keep have ruled over various parts of the plains of Erethel. Kandrian Keep is the ancestral seat of power. Where did I put my quill?
Be mindful of others. It is a glorious day.
Oh, what is this? Do you expect me to be impressed because you rose to prominence in the House of Ballads? Oh, I don't think so. They make up the most powerful body in the world, especially now that the mortal races have become embroiled in conflict. A second spring is coming, mark my words. I remember a cycle, a great many seasons, when your kind did not trample the gardens of Issa. This city was the ideal in those times. It is forever tainted now. He is the most beautiful of us, a being of absolute perfection. It is a shame he must grace the mortal realm in a physical form. His true brilliance is beyond you.
Good day.
What may I do for you, Your Grace? I am always ready to serve the sage-crafting needs of the House of Ballads. This is where those who seek an audience with the Summer Court must first make their claim. And once that claim is honored, I will prepare them for reception. The Fae fulfill roles in the telling, be it king or steward. If one wishes to ascend the heavens, one must abide by the laws of nature. Your kind has tried for so long to gain access to this sacred place, to be near us. Yet here you all are, and I rarely see a single mortal in the understyle. What do they fear, I wonder? I am the attendant of the court's list, and the lady of receivership. I am trained in all aspects of courtly customs and stand 12th closest advisor to the High King. Farewell, friend.
Welcome to the Hall of Appointments. This is a place of great importance. Please refrain from touching any.
I knew it, just as I had predicted. You'll have to excuse my state, Your Grace. The House of Ballads rarely sends its ruler to meet with me. I usually entertain mortals from Felltown. I enjoy the mortal world immensely. It adds such texture and color to our experience. Now and then you might find me in your dustling district, taking in the bustle. I am the steward of tinctures and elixirs. A meaningless title, one I gave myself, actually. But my work is vital, as is my role, to test the font's magic. This is where we watch over the font, the source of magic in the gardens of Issa. It is a fountainhead that is nourished for as long as this world has been. The font's flow can be measured, directed, and even regulated, depending on the needs of our people. Font Master Nomoran attends to these duties. He has the role of monitoring the font's flow throughout the city and the Feylands. His telling is not to be envied, as it is one of our most important. Font Master Nomoran insists that everything flows as it should, yet I have seen his worry, and I feel the magic weakening. Strange forces are at work. It may be difficult to believe, but the city was once inhabited only by Fae. The understyle consisted of everything growing beneath the font. Now this important section of the Issa is but a dark corner, all but forgotten. Do come see me again. We ask that you do not
Oh, excellent. Another... Oh, a mortal. I don't think I could... Oh. Why, you're the ruler of the House of Ballads. How extraordinary. You wouldn't be interested in aiding a mere squire, would you? It is well beyond your station to do so, but, well, I face quite the predicament. My role is with the Hall of Appointments, to prepare visiting ambassadors and dignitaries to meet with the Court of Summer. Right now, there are 4 terrible, regal lords and ladies that wish to see High King Tatarian. But they are a fickle lot and require extra, handling. They must enter the font in a procession, but each has his or her own preferences, and I can't afford to offend any of them. Wonderful. That's one less aggravation that demands my concern. Thank you, mortal. The dignitaries have been seen about the gardens, enjoying its many splendors. I will remain here and await your advice. I enjoy my role as steward, but my fear of Lady Olana overshadows any pleasure I might find in the tasks assigned to me. She is quite critical. Well, I've never met him, of course. Such an honor is not granted to squires. But they say he is quite incredible. As tall as a tree and radiating a great light, as though a sun burned within him. The birds sing to herald his glory. She is well suited to her role as the Lady of Receivership, as she enjoys judging the worth of others. She has assessed me as well, and I have been found lacking. I am steward of the High King's List, and apprentice to the Lady of Receivership. Olana will be so displeased once she finds out I failed her so. Few dustlings ever make their way to these gardens. I believe they fear us, as they fear the elements. As they should. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not like to be called dustlings? Farewell, Honorable One.
The peace edict must be obeyed.
Welcome to the Hall of Appointments. If you wish to... Greetings!
They send the ruler of the House of Ballads to serve me? What form of unnatural mortal game is this? Why are you here? Me? Well, my seniority dictates that I should be leading this procession, but my lame leg prevents me from taking my rightful place. I should bring up the rear. I will make it to Tartaryon's throne, even if I have to crawl. Great Huntress Heartwen should go first, leading us all. She's particularly like that. I would hate to anger her. Of course.
I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballads serves no one. Order? I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the warlord Wenery? I enjoy watching her backside travel. It would be best if Coronet trails far behind Great Huntress Heartwen. Once at each other's throats, those two are difficult to tear apart. Always a pleasure. I am at your service, fleshy master.
Sarama will teach you the ways of the Fae. Greetings, Dustling.
I am the Great Huntress Heartwen, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful? How quaint! Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Wenery. So it is only right I meet the High King before her. Not only must I be in front of Warlord Wenery, but I must also lead Lord Setter, the old lecher. Serves him right for all his past leering. The pleasure was all mine, child of the dust. Goodbye.
Eh? The font is beautiful today.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace? I am not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor. My place is prowling the Feylands in search of a worthy challenge. Not here, petitioning fools about issues that do not concern me. You fell persons are ignorant, aren't you? The Great Cycle is what gives balance between the eternal conflict of growth and decay. When every Fae passes, he is reborn. As long as the Great Cycle persists, this world we share may continue to refine itself on a path to perfection. We adore him in every guise, yet he has a wistfulness that I do not understand. There is no fire in him, only a peaceful pool that goes deeper than any of us realize. There is no more important nature than that which lusts for battle. Creation and destruction are sisters in the Great Cycle, both necessary to maintain the balance. I am the flame that blackens the dirt, the smoke that blocks the sun. My time in the Withering War was my finest hour, but those seasons are long past now. The Summer Court would not stand for the mortal ambitions of Own, King of the Winter Court. So we burned him, as we burn a dying forest in need of mercy.
Watch your back. I met with the Court of Summer just recently.
Yes?
My liege. So, you're done. A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails? It's good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents. Yes, yes. Of course. And then? All right. Next. Yes, yes. Excellent. That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you. Goodbye, Your Grace.
Don't bring your dark war here to Isa.
You belong in Fairtown.
Only will not tell you this. She disapproves of crime. She does embody nature's truth, a sharp and silent, simple truth. And yet Oline will always shine among the balance lore. For humble though her courage be, a greater night we'll never see.
Why are you worthy of Methoru's blessings?
I have faith that his order is supreme, that his gifts are eternal.
Nobody here but us law-abiding citizens. Get over here. We don't abide by strangers in Issa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down. It's not exactly the keys of Rathir, or even the hospitalis quarters of Odessa. But Felltown has its charm. If you find out what it is, be sure to come and find me. It's better than the cellar crawl space I called home just 2 months ago, believe me. The Fae may be grumpy, but they've got nothing on giant rats. You know, that neighborhood in the gnome city of Odessa where the poor live. Oh, it's a lot of fun. Well, technically, we're not supposed to carry or sell weapons in Issa, but I found a few loopholes. As have you. If you're on the market for something deadly, I'm your man. Just don't go blabbing about it to the Fae. They've got buds for brains. The Dockside District in Rathir is a lovely place, if you're looking to have your throat cut or contract a nasty disease. Remember it next time you travel there. Not much to tell. Heard the war horn of the recruiters and packed my bags. Slipped out in the dead of the night, I did. And I'm proud of it. What good is fighting when the Tuatha don't die? Besides, I'm a businessman. I got my hand on a pass into Issa, and the rest has been waterfalls and walks by the river. Farewell. Welcome to the gardens of Issa.
Need anything? I've got the best in Issa. If you're looking to buy armor, I'm the only one in Felltown who's authorized to sell it. I'm Gwen Hand, but my customers call me Gwen. I don't have many weapons to offer on account of the peace edict, but there's still a selection to pick through. Have at it. The Tuatha were intensifying their attacks against Mel Sinshir, the bastion in the east. Of course, that's just rumors. I pray they're not true. This is where the Fae keep us so we don't blemish their pretty city. Can't say I blame them. We're an unruly and ugly lot, mortals. Being here isn't good for business, that's for sure. I see the same damn 20 faces every day. But it's an honor for Britt and I to be here. Make no mistake about that. He's a dear friend from years ago. He spent time as my apprentice, but recently set out on his own. He sells authentic ritual Fae blades outside in the square. My twin brother and I were entering the army to fight for the Alpha when I panicked. I couldn't. I'm not a fighter. I came to Issa instead. I'm not proud of running, but I'm much more useful here as an unofficial ambassador of sorts. Not everyone's a fighter. The Fae didn't have laws, at least not official ones, until we arrived. Now they insist that those of us who live in Issa must keep its peace. No weapons. You must be one of the special exemptions. Let me guess. Ambassador? Scholia Arcana? Could be anything. Have a good day.
Need training? I'm taking apprentices. You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I wrong you in another life, brother? If you're willing to spare the gold, I can teach you what I know. In this battered old skull is a lifetime of knowledge, and quite a few stories as well. I have no interest in this war between mortals and the deathless. It is a waste of life, and I have my own private battles to finish. It's as good a place as any, I guess. But after a while, people begin to remember you. And for someone like me, that's a problem. I prefer anonymity. Besides, could there be a better place to hide from this offensive war? The only weapons you find in a garden are the blades of grass. I don't care to stay in one place for too long. Felltown sounded like a good opportunity, and an even better hiding place. I can't say the peace edict has hurt business, but it's not exactly easy to train students in blacksmithing without weapons around. What you've no doubt heard is correct. I am the Holt Friend. I forged Bolgan's Bane of the Kaled Coast, and many other legendary pieces. My youth was spent as a mercenary, but I have since renounced those ways. Unfortunately, my enemies have long memories, and they aren't as forgiving as I am. It is an ancient Alfar kingdom far across the sea in the dense swamps of Klurkon. I once helped its great lords overcome a terrible Bolgan problem. Let the Fae try to stop me from carrying arms in the city. Weapons are my trade, my only expertise. It'd be like asking a hen to stop laying eggs. Goodbye.
Hope you're here about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else. Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwenna Hand, mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. What do I know of Fae politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here, thanks to the war. I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war. Ungrateful creatures. It's safe, that's for sure. At least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. Making a fortune is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade. Fae blade, of course, that makes them authentic. Something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway. Fae souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money. Fabulous, fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the Honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Not just anyone can enter the secret city of the Fae. Oh no. You need an ambassador's endorsement and written authorization, and that's just to be in the lottery. Those in the United Merchants are the lucky ones. Of course, once you see how much gold they actually make in Issa, you will no longer envy them. Don't keep me waiting too long. Had some luck, did you? Let's talk gold. How many did you bring me? That's it. These will drive the visitors mad with envy. Everyone will get one. And what will I get? Whatever rewards they deem worthy. It's you and me, friend.
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. No? A bribe, is that what you want? Listen to me. I'm no one's plaything. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I thought Issa would be different, but it's just another nest of snakes. I don't believe the Fae see the Lossulfar and Dokulfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict generalities, along bloodlines and origins. Sometimes working alongside the Dokulfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours. You think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young soldier back home who waits for me. But can I be with him before he sails? No, I have to administer to the Fae. The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quickly as you came. It's a den of deceit and malice. You don't want friends like these. I understand. Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy. This one is worn by our most secretive scouts and agents. It is a good choice. I proclaim you the Dark Hunter. See you later.
Good evening. Then we must do what needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. Quiet. We must not discuss this further in the open.
You must be the special messenger Tatarian's expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokulfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes. They are a council of Fae nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics.
Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. Issa is fine, and the Fae are tolerable, but many believe they should do more to support the war effort. It's unjust to live in peace while the rest of the world burns. I've met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Not everyone is welcome up there. It's where the court of summoned nobles spend their time reminding themselves of past glories. I'd avoid it. Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there. Goodbye.
I apologize, but one of my station has many obligations to attend to. Please, excuse me.
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? I have no love for the other races here, if that's what you're asking. The Varani are coarse and brutal, while the Alpha are scheming and treacherous. The Allmain, they don't leave much of an impression, if I must be honest. I'll forgive them for their blandness. After all, they are so young. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature. Fascinating amalgam that should be explored. We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this. Their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursas. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. Farewell.
Varani only. Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I am Ambassador Advar, he who bloodies the waters. I have served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought, the Battle of Wills. I enjoy being this close to those I'm competing against. That's what this is, isn't it? A conflict in which we struggle to gain the ear of the Fae. As always, the Varani will triumph. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. The High King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the hands of the Tuatha. Fae, but the Fae themselves show no remorse. Titarian and their Summer Court will know our anger, and they will aid us or perish. don't have time for this.
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war. It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alfar and Varani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception. See you later, friend.
You will feel at home here.
Pretty evening, isn't it?
Good evening. Good. You've come. I'm sorry to make you wait like this, but what I mean to discuss is very sensitive. It involves treachery. Despite the calm you see around you, the gardens of Issa are on the brink of war. And the question is, who will be fighting? There are plans being made to seize this city. The Varani are displeased with the Court of Summer's lack of support for their people, and they wish to overthrow Tatarian and force the remaining Fae to fight. We can prevent this, but we must act now. If gold is an issue, we Dakelfar can pay well. The Varani cannot stomach Tatarian's neutrality. They believe that his Fae subjects could be convinced to march with us on the battlefield. I believe this as well, but I would never resort to violence. The Varani wish to turn Issa into a military camp. I cannot let that happen. It will ruin all my people have achieved here. Of course, it is the right thing to do. The leader of the plot is the Varani ambassador, Kierna Brenner. Every night, the ambassador strolls Memory Walk, alone. She carries a pair of daggers. Take them. Afterwards, dispose of them. Destroy them. Salvage them. I don't care. Return to me when it is done. She is no politician. She is a warlord, and a cruel one. I've heard stories that would make your heart brittle. She was sent here for one reason alone, to bring down Issa. The Varani communicate secretly using weapons. They engrave codes into the blades of daggers and swords, and that way, they can get them through a typical search. We believe this particular pair of daggers describes the defenses of Issa, where it's strong and where it's weak. The Varani are plotting, and they will act. She spends most of her time in the embassy, but in the evenings, she enjoys a leisurely stroll through Memory Walk. Try there after dark. Goodbye.
Water.
I prefer to pray at night. When it's peaceful.
What do you want? Do you have business with the Varani in the Gardens of Issa? If so, then you must speak with me, Kierna Brenner. This is not a life I chose, here in this fetid swamp of a city. I was raised on the sea, an adventurer and warrior. I survived, and that made me what you see before you. Cowardice drives her ambition, a fear of being discovered. All the Alfar lack confidence. We Varani make our own outcomes. We make the future. I do not enjoy this position, talking instead of fighting, speaking of the enemy instead of facing them, but I have a job to do, and I will do it. They don't deserve the breath I waste on them. There are powerful warriors in their ranks, but as a group they share no collective spine. They have no reason to fight.
The tavern is always open.
Welcome. Let us never speak of this again. I don't know you. I don't like you. And I hope I never see you again. Take this gold and these supplies. Such items are hard to come by in wartime. This is where we part.
Move along. I must not be bothered.
If you want to see a remarkable sight,
Presenting the blade in the shadow, His Grace the Dark Hunter.
You look like one who enjoys a game of hexes. We mortals need something of our own here in Issa. Why can't it be gambling? If you don't know how, I can teach you. What do you want to know about me for? Is this some kind of Fey interrogation? Keep your curiosity to yourself, friend. Folks here have gold. That's enough for me. I don't care where I find myself, just so long as the people there are willing to pay. Not much to do here in the Fey City, but lighten your pockets and have a good time doing it. But I jest. You have a lucky look about you, stranger. Finished already?
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gertern Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the All-Main approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman. I know better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. I wouldn't say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them. Oh, yes, sorry. The United Merchants Delegation. It's a coalition of traders that have been granted permission to sell their wares in Issa. There's a brewery near Rathir that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through. It's the most popular drink in Amalur, at least it is now. My Asker's ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Issa treat you well. So here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite, Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us. It's been in our family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. King Almir? Almir the Bold? The founder of our people's nation? I'm sure you've heard of him before. We're named after him. He spends his time in the Lyceum Grove in the Understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. Good luck.
Hey there, pretty. This is Asker's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern in Issa, of course, but you didn't know that, did you? If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything. About the Understyle, the Embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all. We provide your basic public service. Ale. And if drinking isn't your thing, then you can always stop by the Hexes game and back. Sure, we've got a place to sleep on the floor over there, but it'll cost you. Fine, it's up to you. Oh, if I had the finery and manners, you wouldn't find me anywhere but the Embassy Hall. I'd even buy a title. But it's a dreadful place these days, what with the war. The Darkelfar and Varani are practically at arms over their differences, and everyone speaks in a whisper. I prefer the United Merchants Delegation. Those are my people. It's the Fae neighborhood on the other side of the city. There you'll find the Hall of Appointments and the Lyceum Grove. They don't mind if you go exploring in the Understyle, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you know your way around. The Fae can be easily offended. Like I said, it's all magic to me. If the Fae said this city got its power from glowing purple antelopes, I'd probably believe them. I'm just a hostess. Olana and her squire Brio, they have the good fortune to meet with all the nobles who visit the High King. A life of lords and ladies. Oh, that's the life for me. Oh, that's a sinister spot, isn't it? Even the Fae take a few extra steps to walk clear of there. Don't trust anyone in robes. The Askers took me in when my pa was killed in the war. That's been nearly 10 years. Now this is my home, pretty. It's where you'll find me every day and every night. Let me just say that I adore Olana. She's one of the few Fae that I've met face to face, and she couldn't be more pleasant. Such a pretty one. So you want to brush up on your bad luck, do you? That game will do it for you, all right. Speak with Kali in the back. Is that the one at the far end of the Understyle? Yeah, I think that's the place. Never been there, but folks say that's where the Fae make the waterfalls. You see, the city gets its magic from the water. They call it the fountain. Or is it the wellspring? I never remember. I'm sure it's just a story anyway. When Issa first opened, the Alfar approached the humans about creating a shared shop so people here could get their sundries. All of this was lost on the Fae, of course. Most of the United Merchants are good people, like Wystron and Gwenna, but that blacksmith's apprentice, Britt Codgan, he's a leech. Bye now.
Hey.
This dwelling gets quite raucous. You mortal...
Turn away, mortal. The Den of Night is meant for the impudent. Your entrance shall be denied. It is where the brazen and unrepentant are sent to consider their crimes. Must I point out that the Den of Night's occupants are almost always mortals. They are given time to reflect, and when they are ready, they may brave the beasts of the Hollow to return to us here on the surface. It's a great privilege for mortals to reside in this, our most sacred dwelling. Try to deny your dustling impulses and resist from killing each other. My own telling has brought me here to the Gardens of Issa, to act as one of its guardians and caretakers. I'll protect it from any threat, including you. Avoid the Den of Night, Dustling.
Enjoy your visit to the city, Your Grace. Long goodbye, Your Grace.
Presenting the blade in the shadow, His Grace.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is Bristletongue, my, that would be something. A mockingbird, the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something. Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion. Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. If you ever wish to learn, come visit.
Presenting the blade in the shadow, His...